Life for most people is about second chances and, being able to right your wrongs that you might have made in the first place. You could even see that principle being applied in the gaming world. Like, look at Nintendo and their 2012 Wii U console. Out of all the consoles that the company had made beforehand, the Wii U performed the worst its whole lifespan. So, what did Nintendo do to fix that problem? They fucking buried it. That's what they did. The whole gaming scene is just full of a bunch of mistakes, whether it's on a development level, a corporate level, a sports game that's a clone of every previous year but still at full price level. It gets wicked out here, but that doesn't mean that there aren't scenarios where the team behind the game either recognizes and fixes their mistakes, or fans that were once shitting on said game decides to give it another positive chance. And I'm happy to say that we just seen a great example of that second option because, right now we're in the midst of a resurgence in popularity with the 2021 release game of Battlefield 2042. Now, for those unaware, Battlefield 2042 is the 12th main installment in the long-running first-person shooter series of Battlefield, and up to this date, the last one that was released. Except when this game, dropped, it was, well, it was ass. At least that was like the general consensus with the whole community because, the game at launch was played with hella glitches and server issues. Players had the thought that the gameplay was underwhelming compared to previous Battlefield titles like, the third one, which people regard to as one of the best multiplayer FPS games of all time. It was a bad time to say the least, but because of that, a lot of people dropped this title faster than the online support for that Avengers game. Like, it was over. But fast forward to today in the current state of Battlefield 2042, many people, including myself, were surprised at the fact that, just in the last day and a half, the game saw a peak player count on Steam at over 100,000 players. A record that even beat its initial peak player count, as you can see here in the screenshot. And people want to know why. Like, EA isn't always known for having games that age well outside of their mid-2000 titles. Battlefront 2 is still a masterpiece. So why exactly are there so many players on Battlefield 2042, and is the game actually that much better compared to what it initially was? Well, first off, I think the main reason that we see the game in so many people's hands, just from a number standpoint, is because EA has been holding a free weekend for the game of 2042. Meaning that for free, anyone can access the game until the end of, today, I'm assuming. So, there's no better price than free, especially in times like today where buying new games is basically a new household bill. But even if you want to own the game right now instead of just, free testing it, I'll just check the game's Steam store page and it's currently on sale for purchase under $10. That's a crazy cheap price compared to its $40 price tag it was at for months before this. So with those two factors, it's obvious that many people have the game right now just because it is insanely easy to get their hands on it. So if you're interested, I'd recommend taking advantage of those prices sooner than later. But outside of the game being so cheap, there's folks saying that the game is actually enjoyable right now and that the gameplay is a huge improvement from 2021. So, what's good with that? Well, coincidentally, this week is also the launch of the game's Season 6 update, which adds a new map, some guns, and a bunch of other enticing live game service stuff. We already know every game is trying to replicate the Fortnite method. But it's all things that add on to the now vast gameplay features introduced in the last 2 years, and that right there is also one of the main reasons for this game's sudden success. This title is over 2 years old now, so of course EA has had a lot of time to fix the majority of the issues, add new content, and overall just make the game as good as it should have been closer to its launch. Because if they didn't, well, then the studio would just be useless. And because of all the initial attention that the game got following the new update, I'd make the bet that a lot of people just hopped on the trend of seeing what all the hype was about, which resulted in seemingly everyone playing Battlefield 2042 in the last couple of days. So how much more popular the game's going to get from this point forward has yet to be seen, but overall I'm glad that 2042 is finally being enjoyed this much. The game's seen a hella improvement, so hopefully players can continue to enjoy Battlefield going forward as much as they are right now. So what do you guys think about Battlefield 2042 and everyone playing it right now, man? Feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.